We have many talented movie makers in Kuwait, and we'll try from time to time to interview some of them to get to know more about their experience and their take on various cinematic topics. Join us in this short interview. We're so lucky to have Mr. Tareq Alzamel, producer and director, with us again on the show. Welcome back to our show.
Thank you. Glad to be here again.
Well, you know what? Actually, I was going to ask you this when we met the very first time, long time ago, but I always wanted to ask this question. What made you pursue this career, like becoming a director?
I guess most directors would have the same story. I mean, watching films and TV shows since we were teenage. And
okay.
I got hooked to TV shows back then, and mostly actually they were shown on Channel 2 here in KTV.
KTV
and
2.
they were updated back then. And, you know, TV shows like Miami Vice and all these actually got me into like loving directing. And
Falcon Crest?
Yeah, shows like this. But I wasn't really watching Falcon Crest. I'm more like of the action kind of TV shows. Miami Vice, maybe you remember Wise Guy.
Can you describe to us your feeling when you used to watch these TV shows? Like, what was going on?
I had the curiosity how they do that. How can they actually suck you in and feel like you're in there with them? So I figured there's a way of doing this, and it's got to be professional, and I have to seek that way and find out how they do it. So I picked up a camera like everybody else probably did and started shooting my own stuff. You know, as an amateur, teenage, whatever.
But did you understand the concept of being a director when you were a teenager?
Of course not. No, I didn't get. I mean, I thought it was just a camera and push on and tell them to do whatever they do. Yeah, one-man show, one take. Of course, and then I decided, you know, after, you know, in the 90s, then I decided I'm going to go travel to the States and study
This is when
filmmaking.
you finished your high school?
Yeah, kind of a little after that.
Okay.
2 or 3 years after that.
So why? Like, why you thought, okay, this is what I want to do? I know you have the passion.
I figured I'm not good enough on anything else, so I'm good in this, so this is what I should do. Of course, everybody tells you to go study engineering and stuff, and you don't want to do
Why?
things. Everybody does. Like
why?
Back then, everybody has to go study engineering or like, you know, go to, you know, to...
Is that because they don't really believe much into direction?
No, I found this is what I like. I think this is what I'm going to do good with, and actually turned out to be right, alhamdulillah.
So where did you go to study?
A couple of states, actually, United States, and been a couple of states. Of course, you do the community college in college, and I did my master's, and came back in the 2000s, actually.
Before you come back, how was the experience? Like, for me, for example, when I studied English literature, it was completely way different from what I had, you know, as English in school. So it was like a shock at the beginning. When you always loved direction, or you always loved movies, but then you got to study it, how was the feeling?
It was different, of course. I started to learn. And actually, you don't learn as much when you go into the field and start working in films.
When you actually
of course, you figure out there's experiences involved more than studying it only. And this completes that. So it's 50-50.
And did you get involved in some projects there while you were in the
Yeah, of course, yeah, I did. I worked a couple of jobs. I did a couple of short films. I did a couple of documentaries.
Nice.
And, I mean, they were local, but, you know, I worked in TV stations. Started with actually radio there. And then worked in a TV station, and then films, you know, it's always...
And then you came back to Kuwait, you said?
Yeah.
How was the environment here for, you know, being a director?
I worked in the private sector from the beginning, and it was good. I mean, it was TV only, it wasn't really films, you know, until those film festivals started to show up in the Gulf, and that pushed us to start making films, and, you know, it was a motivation, it was a really good motivation, and this is why I started making short films, and I started to go to film festivals.
Are you happy about your decision?
Of course, yeah. I mean, money-wise, maybe.
Like if time takes you back?
Financially, I don't know, but it's entertaining. I had fun doing it. And you make money back, but not as much as you think. Now, I think the business is bigger, and it's time to make films again.
So my question is, if time takes you back, would you like become a director again?
Oh, definitely, yes. Yeah,
nice.
I still do.
This is your passion. This is where you.
That's a passion. That's what I.
Are we going to see some of the feature films that you make maybe in movie theaters?
Inshallah.
The one that you did, was it in movie theaters?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
How was the reaction?
It was good. It did well. Did really well. And
well, as audience, or well also financially?
Well, as an audience and actually critiques did well. Financially, it did fine. It's a large percentage here and there.
Right.
And but then also went to festivals and did well in festivals too, and that matters, you know.
Well, I remember the movie. It was very good because I remember I was supposedly to be in it, so that was really great. But we had, you know, the shooting conflict and so on. So I felt so bad later on watching it in the movie theater because this was so good, and I was not part of it. But good for you, man.
Thank you.
Well, thanks a lot, and hope we'll see you again in one of our future episodes.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Tareq Alzamel, Kuwaiti director and producer. And as we do every week, we're going to be interviewing one of the directors to talk more about movie making. Stay tuned, as we still have many segments coming up in Clacket.